Hey guys, so I am coming at you with a quick little video about face powders. I realized going back through my videos, I did a few best ofs, but I never mentioned face powders in the face products video. So I realized that way too late. So I said, you know what, let's just do it real quick. So here we are. I'm going to talk about four different products, four different face powders. I'm going to go in order of not least recommended, but like least important to most recommended, if that makes sense. So I'm going to show you a powder that's like middle of the road, like it's okay. A high-end powder, and then my top two, which are drugstore, which is cool, which means they're easy to find. So yeah, I'm going to start with one that I care the least for. I still use it. I've used it on other people, which is how I know it works for multiple skin types. But it's the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. It's, it's translucent, it's fine. It's decent, like I said, very middle of the road. It's useful. I don't remember how much this is, but it's fine. That's what I can say about it. Useful, it's fine, it's there. So yeah, as far as drugstore, this one's pretty good. Next is a Laura Mercier powder. This is the Secret Brightening Powder for under eyes. You could use it for your under eyes. You could use it for multiple spots on your face. It's supposed to be illuminating. Really, it's just very light. It does come across a little powdery on the skin, so a little goes a long way. Be gentle, be light-handed. It's fine. It's a nice product. This is the smaller size. Very overpriced powder in my opinion. I think the regular formula translucent powder is very popular. Like I said, this one is an under eye powder. But like I said, it depends on where you use it. It is useful. Very pretty, finely milled. But yeah, it's not really worth the price, but Laura Mercier powders are very nice. Okay, so getting into the top two here. I want to talk about the e.l.f. Camo Powder Foundations. Now, I bring these up as face powders because specifically the color Fair 120N, I've used this to death. This is a great under eye powder. You get the lightest shade or whatever shade works for you as far as light. And it's incredible setting powder. Like, honestly. It doesn't settle into lines. It's very smooth. Like, I can't underestimate. I can't understate how smooth this is on the skin. It looks beautiful. So this color I've used to death for under eye powder. This is the one that I bought, Light 210N. I bought this one hoping it would match my skin tone. Unfortunately, it's, like you could tell by looking at it, it's orange. That is the only problem with this collection, is the color range. Everything is very yellow, very olive, dangerously orangey in some shades. It's just, the color range is not it. However, using them specifically as setting powders or contour, amazing. Absolutely amazing. These are incredibly useful. You just have to be very strategic about what colors you pick. So this is, I just haven't found someone to give this away to, but I have to find someone in this shade because this is too orangey for me. Great. But yeah, specifically the Fair 120N, like, I cannot find a better under eye powder than this. Like I said, if you use them specifically for contour, they are incredible. I love these powders. Like I said, I misstepped with one of the colors that I needed, but you know, trial and error, it happens. But yeah, for contouring and for like under eye powder setting, just these rock for that. Obviously, if one of the colors in the color line do fit for you, that's awesome. But just like I said, if you're very light, or if you you know, you just know for a fact that the colors aren't going to work for you, I strongly suggest getting a like bronze color and just getting a very light color, because they are incredibly useful formula wise. So I can't rant about them enough, obviously. I just think it's a fantastic formula. They just missed as far as the ballpark of colors, but you know, I'm sure you'll find your shade. Let's put it that way. So the number one powder for me personally is a translucent setting powder, and this is by I Heart Revolution. And this is the coconut scented baking powder. Now, yes, this is marketed as a baking powder, but when I tell you, this is a gorgeous setting powder, like completely, like for the whole face. It smells like coconut, which is very pleasant, but you know, the formula is perfect. It reminds me of the formula of Airspun, but this is like truly translucent, like no color at all, no pigment, just pure formula. That's the best way I could put it. So it's a very big jar. That's the other thing that's cool. I believe it's about $8, which is my favorite part about it. Yeah, it smells like coconut. It comes with a powder puff, which is useful, obviously. I prefer a brush, but sometimes, you know, when you're on the go, having that little puff is helpful. But yeah, that is my number one translucent powder. It is simple, it is cheap, it's a good sized jar, it smells pleasant, it just makes your skin look beautiful. I highly recommend it. I know in most of my videos so far, I have set my foundations with a powder foundation. I'll be honest, there are days when I cannot be cakey. There are days when I need a translucent powder. It's not often. I do prefer to use the double formula, the liquid and the powder foundations. That's just how I do things. However, like I said, the e.l.f. powders, I haven't used them in a video yet, but I use them quite frequently, at least for under eye. And the translucent powder I use whenever I have to, I reach for this one. You know, there have only been a couple times where I've needed to dip into these, so I don't use these very much, but they are decent powders. So they are worth mentioning. But yeah, the e.l.f. Camo and the I Heart Revolution coconut powder, those are my top two as far as like setting powders, or, you know, whatever you use powders for in your routine. Sorry. Yeah, so those were the translucent powders I use. If you have any recommendations for what you guys use as powders, I would love to hear them. I am always looking for a new face powder because, like I said, even though I do use the double formula primarily, there are plenty of times when, either because of discoloration or oxidizing of the foundations, depending on the combination that I find, you know, sometimes you have to set with a translucent powder regardless of circumstances. Sometimes you have to, so you should always own at least one or two. That's my advice, at least. So yeah, thank you.